Close of play on the fourth day of this second test match between England and New Zealand at Trent Bridge sees the game fascinatingly poised. New Zealand are 224 for 7, so they lead by 238. Darryl Mitchell, who's got 200s behind him, of course, is still at the crease and seemingly in no mood to give his wicket away, unlike his colleagues who have batted somewhat eccentrically, I think you have to say, today. He's 32 not out for 95 balls. Latham was bowled for 4, playing no shot. Conway swept a catch out to deep square leg for 52. Nichols was carved a catch to backward point for 3. Young was run out for 56. Blundell got a short ball from Broad. It was all part of a ploy, and he hooked this straight to Stokes, a backward square leg for 24. Bracewell came in, made 25 off 17 balls. It was quite an attack, but then mistimed a slog and was caught at mid-on. And then Southey, the second man to run out for naught. He's had a great game so far. That was 213 for 7. Henry has supported Mitchell, but the closer played 224 for 7. For England today, Stokes Root the first out, beautifully deceived by a slow ball from Bolt for 176. The second ball he faced today, he reverse ramped for 6 off Southey, who I mentioned had a great day. Naught for 154 for New Zealand's opening bowler. Folkes run out for 56. Broad made 9. Potts made 3, and Anderson, the last man, out for 9. So 539. They gave New Zealand a slender lead of 14, having lost their last 5 wickets for 66 today. And as I mentioned, New Zealand have extended that lead to 238 with a full day and a fine day to look forward to tomorrow. Michael Vaughan's alongside me. What do you make of that?
Well, I think we're in for an outstanding day. I mean, I'm delighted it's going to be free. I hope the ground is near on full. I'm sure it'll be close to. On the back of that last session, I was impressed with New Zealand as well, because I thought they were just almost sitting in and waiting, and all of a sudden Michael Bracewell arrived out there, starting to launch a few. I thought, oh, wait a minute, New Zealand are on the gallop here. The pitch is still playing well. I thought for the first 20 overs of New Zealand's second innings, it was the most it's done. Yes, there was a few clouds around and the lights were on, but maybe it is that the pitch is just wearing somewhat, and we'll see a bit of seam movement. There is a bit of spin out there, but I think England will be in that dressing. They seem to have this buzz of energy at the minute on the back of, obviously, the win at Lords, the new coach, new captain. I think they'll be really excited about tomorrow. I don't think they'll be arriving thinking, we might lose. I think all they'll be thinking about tomorrow is, right, we're going to get these last 3 wickets, and then it's about the chase. It's about the challenge of chasing down this target. Whatever they're chasing, and you'll think New Zealand are going to get at least 20, 30 more maybe.
Yes, should do.
There's not many teams chase 270, 280 on the last day of a test match, but I think if you're ever going to do it, I think it's on a venue like this, on a pitch like this, against an attack like New Zealand has, that has obviously got the one victim in terms of an injury to Kyle Jamieson. I would fancy my chances of a batter facing a New Zealand attack on that surface to chase down the kind of score I've just mentioned.
I did ask Andy Zoltzman before I had to leave commentary how many times England have chased 300 to win, batting fourth, batting last, because it's not done often, and you're quite right. So he's going to get his screen out and have a look at that. So to come, Jamieson and Bolt, the fact that Jamieson is batting 2 places out of position already suggests that maybe this back is a problem. He's got a damaged back, he can't bowl, but he's slipping down the order. Yeah,
I mean, it clearly is an issue, and let's wait and see, but I can't think that he'd be that fit for the next test match. So it is that he's going to go out and bat. They have got a few, Bolt, a bit dangerous with the bat. He can get you a quick 15, 20. And from here, for New Zealand, that's all it's going to take. It's going to take someone to hang around with Darryl Mitchell. If Darryl Mitchell gets another 15 or 20 himself and he gets a partner to do exactly the same, they may get up to around that 300. If they get to 300, England will be chasing that in around 75 overs. Whatever happens, I don't think we're going to be in for a boring day where all of a sudden England shut up shop.
No.
I think they'll go for it. I think they'll think, with this new team, it's a new vibe. We're all about winning. We want to try and win the series tomorrow. Whether it comes off is another story, but I just think the vibe and the way this Ben Stokes team is going to play is they'll arrive tomorrow purely excited about trying to get the victory.
Can you work out why Mitchell played as he did, 32 from 95 balls, and yet there was just chaos all around him? I mean, it seems bizarre. I mean, presumably Bracewell was told to come out and play like that. I mean, it's his test debut. He didn't normally come out and just have a slog, basically, which is what he what he did. And you look at the run-outs and the general madness and being caught on the hook trap and those sorts of things. I mean, you could argue that every single one of those wickets, those 7 wickets, got themselves out.
Yeah, and that may be the case for when England are chasing a score, when you're looking at a chase, and it might be that they need 3.5 to 4 runs and over from pretty much the get-go. It happens, doesn't it, in Test match cricket when you're trying to set up the game. I thought Mitchell played with real clarity and control. I just think he looks an outstanding player. I liked Bracewell. He almost did what Ben Stokes did yesterday afternoon, where he came out, surprised us all with a dance down to Potts early in an innings. Whatever happens with New Zealand, they seem to be the kind of team that they won't play out boring draws. They do seem to have this kind of motion of being on the front foot, wanting to try and win games of cricket. Trent Boult will be the key. Trent Boult's bowling well enough, as we saw from Anderson, Broad, Potts, Ben Stokes today. There was a little bit more grabbing the surface, there was a little bit more seam movement. Trent Boult bowled beautifully for New Zealand in the first innings, and he could have a spell tomorrow with that new ball that could knock England over.
They've got some overs in their legs, though. Southey 32, Trent Boult 33, Henry 27. I can see it clutching the microphone. I'm going to have a wild stab in the dark. I might prove you wrong. I'm going to say 7.
Incorrect, Aggers. It's only 4.
4. There you go.
In the history.
Yep, in the entire history of English cricket. Most recently, and the largest chase, 362 for 9 in the Stokes match at
few.
Headingley.
I mean, I was padding up at 7. It's very, very few.
Right, so you're almost erring towards maybe New Zealand.
History would suggest.
Well, yes, but I think fourth inning stats are really tricky to interpret. So a lot of the highest chases, they've actually won quite easily. Also, last week they chased 277 to win, ended up 5 wickets down. So there was sort of margin for error. I think to a similar game, 2017 at Headingley, a very high-scoring game between England and West Indies. West Indies chased, got 322 for 5 in the 4th innings after England had declared. So another good batting pitch. There's been quite a lot of big 4th innings, both successful chases, near misses in recent years. So I don't think pitches deteriorate in the way that they used to. So I think looking at this historical list of highest chases doesn't necessarily give a guide to how proficient teams are.
Doesn't mean you lose just because you didn't win.
Yes.
It's kind of the point of it.
Yeah,
but to score that number of runs, you're saying, though, is challenging.
Yeah, it is. But it shouldn't affect this England team. That's all in the past.
Yeah.
Whatever's happened last week, a year ago, 10 years ago, it's irrelevant. It's
100 years ago.
Yeah, it goes back a long way. But this England side will come out and have a good go. Yeah. I mean, I look at players like Zach Crawley. He got a good one in the first inning. It's the kind of chase that he should be excited about. He needs a score. Johnny Bairstow at 5 again needs a score, and you've got players in Alex Lees, Joe Root, Ollie Pope now, Ben Stokes at 6 who are in fine form. Ben Foakes today was excellent with the bat. I just think that innings that he played at Lords, it looks to me like it's triggered him in his own belief that he really belongs at this level. It's going to be a great last day. It's been a test match where, well, the first test you couldn't take your eye off any ball because everything was happening. This test match has been a bit like the old school test match kind of way. It's been sit back and relax. Oh, beautiful shot, nice shot. Oh, there's a wicket, surprising. And today it's just quickened up a little bit. Yeah. Things always seem to happen a little bit quicker on day 4. And as we've known from many test matches in the past, it can happen quite quick on day 5. So I think we're in for a classic.
2 run-outs. I thought the run-out of Young, actually, was a brilliant piece of work from Ollie Pope, wasn't it? It's funny, you get runs, confident, you make a good decision. Like he could easily have thrown to the wrong end, the wicket-keeper's end. There was nobody there. You could see folks running up, pointing. So he actually swiveled, changed direction, threw it beautifully on the bounce to Stokes, who's in front of the stumps. He had to make sure that he didn't disrupt or knock off a bail or anything like that. But he was the right side to go with the ball, and they obviously to try and knock the bails off, which he did with the ball in his hand. I thought that.
Brilliant.
If you're a fielding coach and you've been drilling these players for the last couple of years, you'd be pretty proud of that.
Well, Duncan Fletcher used to always look at things like that, and any young player or any player, but particularly the young ones, if they showed real game awareness for a run-out like that, he'd love you. If you could just stay with your kind of moment and have a bit of clarity and just take that, and he just took that a little bit longer, didn't he? He got the ball in hand, then he got his position and he just delayed. There you go, I'll go to Ben Stokes' end. It was You know, a player obviously on the back of 100, confident, nice and relaxed. You know, that's what happens in Test match cricket. When you get runs, you go out and field and you feel nice and relaxed. I thought the run out of Tim Southey, and hopefully Tim Southey comes out and bowls better tomorrow, but he's having one of those games.
He's having a bad match.
He's having one of those games. He's gone for over 150 and then he's just been burnt there.
Yeah.
Darren Mitchell
burned him off.
It was one of the all-time classic burns.
Well, they do happen. Talking of burns, what about Root's innings? I mean, okay, he was out for 176. The second ball he faced today from Tim Southey, he sort of reverse ramped over slip for 6. Second ball that he'd faced. He's just on a different planet at the moment. I'm just watching it on the screen in front of me here. I mean, what a way to bat at the moment.
I mean, great players. They're just aware of where the bowler's going to bowl before he's released that ball. And he knew that Tim Southey was going to try and bowl into channel. And for Joe Root, he'll play that shot, and he wouldn't have practiced it a huge amount, but he would be absolutely confident of Tim Southey bowling length on channel.
Because he has to, really.
Yeah, and he'd be like, well, I might as well bat left-handed. Yeah. And I'll turn around and I'll just flick it over that. There's a space over there. Do you know what? I can get it into that space, and I've got all the clarity, and I'm so controlled in everything that I'm doing. It's right up there. That shot will be played for many, many years. The Peterson switch hit, I think it was off Scotty Starr's in Durham in a one-day game that went for 6.
Did it twice, I think.
The Peterson switch off Murley, I think, at Edgbaston in a Test match. That shot from Joe Root will be played for many, many years. It was he's a genius.
Yes, absolutely. He's auditioning for the T20 team, did he?
Well, yeah, maybe. IPL contracts, there are a few teams that could do with a player like Joe. Bowls a bit of off-spin, part of the leadership group. So I hope not, because if he plays in the IPL and plays for a few weeks over in India, it might tire him out. I'm quite happy to see Joe Root not play T20 cricket and just concentrate on 50 overs and Test match cricket.
Let's get some England team reaction, shall we? The wicketkeeper Ben Folkes has been speaking to Alison Mitchell.
Ben, well batted, but in terms of a final session, are you about where you'd like to be going into day 5?
Yeah, I think, obviously it's pretty finely balanced. I think we were, obviously when you set such a big total, you're not really thinking about what's going on in the game, you're just trying to make sure you get up somewhere near them. We managed to do that, and then quite a lot's happened in that afternoon session, so it's kind of left everyone in with a chance. We'll be looking to take those wickets early and then see where we can go.
And well done with your keeping as well. You had to take some flying saves there as well. Took one on your hand. How was that?
It's okay. I got a few battered fingers from this game. Yeah, there's a little bit of wobble. Potsy's not been too nice to me this game, the amount he's got after the bat. So it's one of those. But I'll be happy to see the back of Trent Bridge.
A 50 for you with the bats. How much did you enjoy batting with Joe Root? What do you learn from a 100-run stand with someone like Root? Yeah,
I think it's just his composure. Obviously, his quality is outrageous, and I think it's almost not trying to match some of the stuff he does, because I definitely couldn't. Just trying to stick in there, and I think generally whenever he's batting, it means I can play my natural game. I've just really enjoyed batting with him so far.
It's been a little bit stop-start for you in terms of this England side and your place. How important do you think is it to have made that contribution with the bat alongside the catches you've taken behind the stumps?
Yeah, obviously if you're going to get picked, you've got to do well. And every time I go out, that's what I'm trying to do. Hopefully playing a decent enough innings stands me in good stead.
And how many do you think, as a team, you can chase on this pitch?
It's tricky, actually, because of the outfield so quick. Obviously, you don't know what's going to happen with the wicket. It's obviously playing a little bit more up and down than it was, and spin might come into it. But I think you'd probably guess anything under 300 is still gettable, just with some of the players we have and the outfield being so quick.
Well, good luck for that tomorrow. Thanks very much.
That's Ben Folkes speaking to Alison, who's also been speaking to Devon Conway.
Well, Devon, how do you assess that day for New Zealand on this 4th day?
Yeah, it's a very exciting day of cricket. We've just seen, I think it's ebbed and flowed really well. Credit to England for sort of firing some punches later in the day today, but it sets up for a very exciting final day tomorrow.
Well done for your half century. What was the team's approach and plan with the bat for the second innings?
Yeah, pretty much the same as the first, just really keep a nice positive mindset. Always look to score as much as possible and try and put the bowling under pressure. I must say credit to the English bowlers. The seamers bowled really well today with that new ball, put us under pressure at times. We sort of had a good partnership, myself and Will Young. would have been nice to have kicked on a little bit more, but yeah, we've still got quite a bit of batting to come, so looking forward to tomorrow.
Was Kyle Jamieson padded up? Is he able to bat?
Yes, I think he was padded up. I might be wrong, but I'm sure I've seen him in the whites, and I'm sure he's ready to do a job for us tomorrow.
It was interesting seeing the approach Michael Bracewell took when he came out. Really changed the tempo. Was that something of a team plan when that fifth wicket stand with Blundell and Mitchell was broken?
Yeah, I think there was some sort of communication around him trying to put the bowlers under pressure. We know Michael Bracewell, aka the Beast, does put bowling under pressure. He hits the ball really well, really hard. So yeah, it was good for him to try and take the momentum and try and sort of put it in our favour. So it was a good little counter punch from him. Would have been nice seeing him there for a little bit longer, but yeah, credit to him for doing what he's doing on his debut.
The 3 wickets left, the lead 238 now. What do you believe you can get to? What could you defend?
Yeah, in an ideal world, I reckon if we could get to somewhere around 280, maybe 300 is a little bit greedy, but yeah, if we can get to 280, that'll be good for us. And then we've just got to put the ball in the right areas. You know, I trust our big seamers as well as Michael Bracewell, a spinner, to put England under big pressure on the final day.
Is there anything in the pitch there that could yet make life difficult for England with the bat?
Yeah, certainly. You know, the way I was in there fairly early today to face the new ball, and it certainly nipped around quite a bit. So judging by that, I think it'll get even tougher on day 5. So yeah, looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be a very exciting day of Test cricket.
It will indeed. Thanks, Devon. Well done.
Cheers. Thank you.
There we go. Devon Conway speaking to Alison Mitchell, the Beast. The Beast. Bracewell, Jeremy.
The Beast. Pardon? I didn't know that. I've never heard that before. I'm certainly a man on debut. He's risen through the ranks quickly.
He certainly played some shots today. I wonder how you look at that innings, because the bizarre thing for me is the way that Mitchell's played, 32 from 95 balls, with sort of mayhem all around him. 2 run-outs, the Beast holding out at mid-on, having thrashed 25 from 17 balls, a bizarre run-out at the end. I mean, you could argue that every one of those batsmen has given their wickets away.
I was confused about New Zealand's entire innings, starting with a man letting go and being bowled middle. I haven't seen that in a long time. No. But a good piece of bowling from Anderson, let's be fair, but you should be LBW, I think, when it's hitting middle.
650th wicket. Yep.
And then were they trying to take time out of the game, or were they trying to score quickly? I'm still not sure about that at all. I didn't get a complete feeling about, at least they tried to do this. But I'm left. That's how I'm left, slightly confused.
I mean, I assumed that Bracewell, the Beast, was told to go and play like that. He must have been in his first Test match, and he clumped a couple of good ones, but it wasn't going to last forever.
No, it wasn't. And to advance and then hit high on the bat because you haven't quite got there, you should be able to have always, I think, a second option about a stroke.
Yes.
And he didn't. He just carried through with it.
What do you think about a target then? I mean, what do you think New Zealand need? We've really worked out that England have only scored 300 to win a Test match batting last 4 times ever.
At Trent Bridge, it's a different. I think you've got to acknowledge, Eggers, it's not just the total. It's out here is a little bit different, and if it's say 280, it feels more like 230, and because of the ground,
so fast.
Yes,
short boundary.
Yes,
yeah.
If you find a gap, even if it's a defensive stroke, it can sometimes go for 4.
Yes. And resources. I mean, I was looking at the overs already in the legs. Well, they bowled a lot at Lords, of course, and they didn't have much respite between. But Southey's bowled 32 overs. He's not been a great game, Tim. I mean, he got run out for naught, and he took naught for 154 in that innings from 32 overs. I mean, he's better than that. He's obviously a very fine bowler. Bolt's bowled 33 overs to take 5 wickets, but he's got some heavy legs. Matt Henry 27 overs. So there's a lot of hard work already in the legs of those quick bowlers.
And they're going to be under pressure.
70 overs or so.
They're going to be under pressure, and you've got Pope, who's going to be more confident. You've got Root, who's playing in really good form. You've got Stokes, who could throw in. It could be anything from Ben Stokes, couldn't it? He could be up the order a bit if things haven't gone quite so well for England. you'd have to favour England to chase down 280, I think.
Yes.
How many overs? I don't know. That's the tricky thing.
Do you feel, and I think we've all got to get out of the habit, those of us who've watched England for the last 18 months or so, of just assuming that that their batting's going to collapse?
No, they won't.
Do you think already they've gone past that? Do you think what's happened in this first
That's a
match
thing of
and
the
a half
past
has
now.
gone? You really
Absolutely.
think there's a new mindset?
I do
you think
think
they've
that.
cleared? They think they've
I do
cleared
think
it?
that. Yes, I do.
The stables have been cleared.
I think so. I think the way that they played in this innings, chasing 500,
Yeah.
550, that's a big total to chase. They didn't seem in the slightest bit
They can
concerned
take
about
one
it.
game to literally clear minds.
Well, I'm just saying on what I've seen so
Yes.
far from England.
Yeah.
That they certainly perhaps fell in the first innings at Lord's, but then in the second innings that seemed to clear quite nicely. And the key of it is route.